these are the gems, or I think they're gems. Number one principle: the unconscious is running the show, whether you like it or not. Your unconscious, whatever you believe deep inside, is running the show. It dictates what you do. It dictates how you show up in the world. It dictates all that. This is really, I don't know anyone who actually believes this, but I tried to come up with something really ridiculous so you could hold on to it. But if you believe that rain will, is like acid and it will eat your skin off your body, you're probably never going outside if you live in Washington State. I'm going to just throw that out. I mean, I grew up in Seattle, so I say that, hate the rain. But that's, if you actually believe that underneath, and sometimes what happens as an adult is you don't actually know that that's what you're believing. You just know that every time it rains, you go like this. And you're like, ooh. Like, I'm sure we all have those fears or anxieties, and you don't really know where they come from, and you have this weird reaction, and you're like, this is so weird. It's just rain. Why am I afraid? Like, I'm in my house. This is so stupid. I'm like, it's water! But it doesn't matter, because underneath there's some sort of fear. It got instilled at some point for some reason. There could have even, for this person, it could have even been legit in a sense of, they could have been in a situation that maybe they lived next to a volcano that erupted, and there was, I mean, this is just what I came up with here in my scenario making time, but the volcano erupted and the ash is falling in the sky, and they're 3 years old and they see it, and the parents are like, don't go outside because you can get embers, look, it's like rain. And you don't really develop the ability to use logic until around the age 11 to 12. So you're absorbing that information and you're using whatever you have at 3 years old, 5 years old, 7 years old to make decisions about the world around you and what it means and what it looks like and how you live in it and all of those things. And that's what's forming the unconscious belief system. So sometimes this stuff comes from real pain and real trauma, and there is a moment where you have to kind of stop and let yourself heal from that and process what's underneath, because it's not just we're going to just change the belief system. The belief is tied into a lot of pain, and in order for the belief to unhook, the pain has to go too, and some of that is forgiveness and grieving and all of those things. It's I'll give you a very I'm going to start crying. Vulnerable example for myself is obviously something I'm still working through as I'm sitting and crying about it. So I'm not totally free. What? It's so annoying when you find that out. I really thought I was free of this. I'm like, for real, this is not me kidding. It's so dumb. Anyways, I'm sorry. Woo! As a child, some of you saw my little bio. I was raised in a cult, and I went through a lot of physical, sexual, emotional, spiritual abuse. And when I started doing this kind of work, the main thing that came up for me again and again and again was like, I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be seen, because seen equals pain. If somebody really sees me, something bad is really going to happen. And so that's what I learned as a child, was to just sit in the back and like be quiet and like just be good, and then nothing bad happened to me. And so I've had to work through that. Obviously, I have more to work through.
Clean.
Oh. Don't beat yourself up. You got to give yourself permission to learn something new, right? Like, it's got to be free to just like, free to fuck it up. And then like get it totally wrong and be like, okay, so that was not the right way. But thought that was still better than that way. You know, I mean, it's you can find the lightness in anything if you can take the shame and the condemnation out of it. And just, okay, give yourself permission to just walk the road and let it be wrong, let it be blah, 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 and then and figure it out and do it differently. And just keep trying it, because it will eventually build something new. It will create a new pathway that you can get on. And then you actually have a choice. Because what happens is when we're stuck in this and we have these blocks, we don't really have the freedom of choice. Right? Because you're always fighting against yourself. So you can still choose the old way, but why not choose it consciously? There's a handful of things that I do. There's I like the George Costanza. I don't know, Seinfeld. Anybody like the Seinfeld? George Costanza, he was like, I'm going to do everything the opposite of what I normally do and see how it works out. I like that because it's like an experiment. I like to look at things, it's an experiment. And it's totally counterintuitive. You have to do the thing you don't want to do. That's the part that sucks. Is you have to telling you, that's where the work comes in. This stuff isn't actually complex per se, but it's difficult because you have to be uncomfortable. You're gonna be uncomfortable. It's sitting with the stuff you don't want to sit with and saying, okay, you know, I mean, that's literally how I feel inside all the time. Like when I'm dealing with stuff, it's just that like, oh my God, this is, and you just feel uncomfortable, but you've got to create space for the discomfort, because if not, you're just going to stay doing what you're doing. You already know how to do what you're doing, right? It's already familiar. It's already whatever. So, like, you can stay there all you want, but to get to something new, you're going to go through this phase of discomfort, and it's going to feel weird. Big fan of affirmations, let me tell you. I got I am boards, I got vision boards, I got the whole shtick. I got I have sticky notes on my mirror in my bathroom. You are awesome. And I replace them every week because, I mean, eventually you tune them out because you look at the same thing every day, right? I mean, like, come on. If it sits there long enough, I stop reading it. Like, I'm just ADD as much as the next guy. So the tools and the principles are true, but you got to find a way that works for you that's going to feel real and actually have an effect. So for me, I'm a hiker. I hike every day. So whenever I'm hiking, it's usually my time where I'm talking with God and I'm praying and I'm doing my stuff and processing. And as I'm doing that, I start saying my stuff and I'm like, yeah, I got the endorphins going. I'm awesome. Look at me, I'm fit. I'm so cool. Or whatever. I mean, that's not what I say, but. I mean, I do. My I am board says I am fucking awesome. That's it, right? I like the F word a lot. And so it makes me feel really powerful. I know, it's not great. Everyone doesn't love that. Here's some science for funsies. Is you are actually building a new neural pathway in your brain. You're teaching your brain to think something different and to choose something different. And eventually, the only reason your unconscious thought pattern that you have that's running the show is because you've chosen it again and again and again and again. And it's like a well-worn rug. And your body's like, ooh, that's easy, I can just do that. It's like your favorite jeans that are hideous and there are holes everywhere, but they're the most comfortable thing you've ever owned in your whole life. You know why they're so comfortable? Because you've been wearing them for 20 years. And your spouse is like, can I please burn them? But that's why. Anything can become that. Anything that you want can become that. You just have to find your path to get to that place, to then choose that new, no, this is what's true. This is what's true. And everything in me is going to get here. And then eventually that becomes your habit. And then that becomes the unconscious belief system that's driving the show. And then eventually, you don't even have to consciously choose it. It becomes the way that it is. And then everything that you've dreamt about and that you want, whatever it is that you're looking for, that becomes your way of life.